Hi everybody. Well, tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so you're probably all getting ready for your big gathering if you're having one, and I hope that you all have a wonderful time if that's what you're planning. I actually have a birthday on New Year's Day, and before you get excited about that, I've had so many people say, oh, you're so lucky. Really, I guess the good part about it is there's always a party going on somewhere. So if I want a birthday party, all I have to do is go, right? But the bad part is, it's when I was a child, you know how we used to bring treats to school for the rest of the class? Well, we were not well-to-do people, and my mom would say, well, we just spent all our money on Christmas presents, and she said, besides, you're not even at school on your birthday, so no one will even know if you don't. So I never got to bring a treat on my birthday when I was little. And I don't hold that against my mom. She did the best she could. My mom and dad both, they were very, very good parents and very generous with what they had. But I do remember that, and probably because I was a child, you know. So it usually kind of gets lost in the shuffle of the new year. And no, we weren't in school. We were on Christmas break at that time. So yeah, that's my story. But anyway, we don't dwell on negative on this channel. What I want to talk to you about today is my Calathea mess here, my Marantas. Those of you that have been following me, you know that I was hurt back in June, and I was in the hospital for a while, and I had somebody else taking care of my plants, and they got overwatered. And since then, I've really been struggling with several of them, trying to reverse the damage that was going on there and hoping that I could revive my plants. These, I think, are the only ones left of the fallout of that. And I'm working so hard at it. I did do a whole video on it not too long ago, where I repotted these, I believe. I think I repotted them all, yeah. And took all the dead stuff off. And one of the things that was happening is, can you see this? No. See how they're hanging down? I could not figure out what was going on here, so I took a cutting and I stuck it in rooting powder and water, and it is getting new roots, little as they are. You can barely see them on there, but they're there. I'm going to leave this one in the jar for now and see what happens. But these, I put them all right back where they were when they were doing fine. I checked them all, I sprayed them, I did everything that I know to do to fix these plants. And I still have some that are not opening. Now, this is a new growth here. But some of these have older growth that never opened. They just died on the vine. So I did some more research, because I ruled out the lighting, the watering, any kind of pests, nothing. Like what? The temperature, the humidity. Now, I know you guys know me, and you know that my, and I'm going to just trim these as we're talking, my humidity is pretty high in the area that I live. So I don't really have to use a humidifier except at this time of year. When the furnace is running a lot, then I do have to put a pot of water on, and depending on the day, sometimes just for an hour, sometimes for a couple hours. But I bring the water to a boil. I put it in a big kettle, and I bring it to a boil, and then I turn it down to a low, almost simmer. And that does it. That brings the humidity usually up to, anywhere between the upper 50s and lower 60s. And that's about where I want to be. Any more than that, and you're going to start to get mold and fungal issues, and it's not good for your furniture. And I can attest to that because I had that happen to me once, many years ago. So, but here's the good news. In doing the research, I came across some information, and I'm going to try this, and I don't know if it's going to work, but it already seems to be helping. I tried it on this one, and it already seems to be helping. Now, this leaf right here was not opening, and since I did what I did, it's starting to open. And these two underneath here also were rolled up, but they're starting to open. Now this is a newer one that just shot out here in the last day, and then this one I think is done. This one is, I don't think it's going to open. But what I read was that this plant really likes high acidity. So I went on to research about acidity and how I can add it naturally to my soil. Now I have heard for years people say if you put coffee grounds that in your spent coffee grounds in your plant, that'll do it. And I may have tried it back years ago, but if I did, I don't remember. I don't recall why I did it or what the outcome was. But this time, I thought, okay, what the heck? I'll try it. But then I went on to read other informational sources and found out that, well, at least that's what they're saying on the internet. Now, you know, not everything on the internet is accurate or correct, so take this with a grain of salt, please. But I'm doing the experiment, so you can test the theory out on me, okay? And I will come back with the results. But what I did is, one site said, a couple sites actually said, that the spent grounds do no good because the acid that you want from that bean is going in your cup. So they said rather than use the grounds, use whatever leftover coffee you have and put that in there. So that's what I did. But then it went on to further to say the best way to do it is use fresh coffee grounds. Wow. I had to think about that a minute because I am, I hate to say anything addict because that denotes a really weak person, and I don't consider myself a weak person, but I am a coffee addict. I love coffee. I love coffee. In fact, when I'm watching TV at night and if somebody picks up a mug with hot coffee in it and they start sipping on that, I'm just, I can't tell you how bad I want to have a cup of coffee, but I can't do that at 8 o'clock at night because then I really won't sleep. So, anyways, so I love my coffee. I use Folgers Colombian. I've tried many others, and I keep going back to this, and it is, and I don't get paid by Folgers. In fact, you know, they don't even have coupons, which aggravates me because for those of us that are really loyal customers, we should get some kind of something for all the money we spend on these. And yeah, these containers have shrunk quite a bit over the years, but anyways, this is what I use. It's the Folgers 100% Colombian. I did put the remainder of my cup of coffee in this plant, and it does seem to be helping. Today, I'm going to try the grounds. And I know my husband's going to laugh at me and probably be surprised that I would waste my coffee on my plants. But hey, they're my babies, right? So I'm not going to put any more in here because this is already wet and it's already got, but I just wanted you to see that it did seem to help. So, okay. And like I said, this one we're just going to, we're going to leave this one in the water. I'm not going to add any coffee, anything to it and see, because it's rooting. And I'm hoping once it roots and I get it back in soil with a good root system that this will take off. I don't know if these will ever go back upright. I don't know. I've never ever had a problem with my Marantas. And I've had Marantas on and off for many years. So, okay. And I only use distilled water on these always. So it's possible that it's just not getting enough nutrients, because you get no nutrients at all from distilled water. It takes out everything, including, you know, bacteria, but it also takes out the minerals and things that your plants need. But they do get a lot from the soil, and they also get it from the worm castings and from the food that I give them. So I don't think it's that. I think it might just be the pH is off. And you know, I had a similar issue with my peace lily, the one from my dad's wake that you guys have all seen, that I just repotted, by the way, and it looks great. It's the first time I repotted that plant, and it didn't act up on me. And they don't like being repotted. I'm just going to cut this whole piece off here and get it out. So I was very, very happy about that. And, oh, come on now. So that's doing great. I also ordered a ring light, and it was no good. I got it packed up and ready to be shipped back. If you ever looked on Amazon for a ring light, be prepared to spend the day or the week. Bring a lunch and maybe an overnight bag, because I cannot believe the amount of ring lights and plant lights that are on Amazon. And I'm new to Amazon. I don't like ordering stuff on the internet. I don't like putting my information out there. I'm old school, and I know too many people that have had, my uncle actually, who, he does everything on, well, not everything, but a lot. He pays his bills online, he orders online, and he does everything online. And he's had a couple of times where he told my mom that he got hacked and something with identity theft and whatever. And so I guess that does play a part in my worry, but I also have come to the realization that the time is coming when I probably won't have any choice but to get most of my things off of the internet. And I mean, it's great because they can deliver it, but I really like to shop. I like to, especially if it involves clothing or something with fabric, I want to feel it, you know. And all right. Also, I wanted to let you know that I've had several requests now for a question and answer, and I haven't done it because I haven't wanted to put my face out there. And I've been told I don't need to. I can just work on a plant while I answer the question. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's not because I'm a vain person, but I don't look anything like I normally look right now because of my illness, and it can be very depressing if I let it. So the last thing I want to do is put that out for the whole world to see. And part of the problem is, since I broke my arm, I can't get it up over my head, so I can't even put my hair in a decent ponytail or braid or something. And I look hideous. And the medication that I'm on has taken its toll as well. It's caused me to gain a lot of weight in the last year. It has also caused my front teeth to fall out. I mean, I'm hoping that you all can understand that it's not a prideful thing. It's just, it's too much. It's just too much. It's enough having to deal with all the side effects of my illness. It's another to put it out there for the whole world to see. And I don't mind sharing the details of it. I just don't. I'm not ready to do that. I'm hoping that in the next 6 months or so that I will be able to go and get my teeth fixed, or get new teeth in the whatever. Somehow get some teeth in my mouth, which is also why I talk funny. And hoping that my arm is going to continue to get better so that I can at least, pull my hair up in a ponytail, or maybe even use the curling iron again, or whatever. And hopefully I'll be able to get rid of some of this weight too, because it's very, very difficult. So, alright, that's my deal. So, if you guys are interested in question and answer, I'm going to say at this point, you can ask me whatever you want, but I am a pretty private person, so there are some questions I may not answer. One of them I can tell you right off the bat is I will not answer where I live in Wisconsin, other than to say I'm in southeast Wisconsin. Things like that. I'm not giving out my address, my phone number, those types of things. But my age, I don't care. None of that bothers me. So if you are interested and you want to do a question and answer, I'll do my best to answer any question. I love getting questions about plants. I do have a lot of knowledge about plants, but again, I'm not an expert, so I may or may not be able to do that. But I would love to just kind of chat with you guys, interact with you a little more. And when I was asked to do that, that was the second time by a different person. I thought, maybe it's time. Maybe people would enjoy that. So if you want to see me do a video, a question and answer video, put it in the comment section of this video, and only this video, because if you put it somewhere else, I'm not going to find it. So just put the questions in there, and I'm going to give this, I think, a cutoff date of today is Wednesday. I'll probably leave it open through Saturday. I think that's probably enough time. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve, and then we got New Year's Day, and then we got all day Saturday, and I would probably want to answer on Sunday. I'd probably want to do the video on Sunday. So go ahead and send me your questions, and again, keep them in the comments of this video, and I will do my best to answer them. In the meantime, I'm going to put my raw coffee, and we'll see. Now I did start to tell you, okay, this is how much I'm using, okay? A little bit. It's probably, I don't know, a little better than a teaspoon. I don't want to use too much because it doesn't say how much to use. And I don't want to hurt my plant. So I think that'll be good. I'm anxious to see if this works. If this plant starts to really perk up and get better, well, then I have something new that I can tell my viewers, hey, I saved my plant's life with some coffee. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, I love coffee, I get it. But, and I usually keep my my earthworm castings in my empty coffee thing. And I had one of these on the counter a couple weeks ago. And my hubby usually makes the coffee before he goes to work. He said he almost put the earthworm castings in the basket, coffee basket. He said it felt funny. He said it felt different. And I said, well, good thing you caught that, because that would have been horrible if I would have sipped on those earthworms. It's worm poop, people. It's worm poop. Can you imagine if I would have drank that? Oh, man. I tell you, we have some crazy things happening under this roof. Okay, and here we go. I'm hoping you can see how much I got in here. I don't know how much that is. I think this is a tablespoon scooper. So it would be half, maybe? I don't know. And like I said, I'm not even sure if what I'm doing is right. So I guess just use your best judgment. I'm going to just try a little bit. I don't want to do too much, because if there's too much acid, then that could harm your plant too. So, you know, I'm experimenting here, folks. This is not a science, and this is not a greenhouse, and I am not a botanist. So you know, but I'm willing to try. You know, it's like people that put bay leaves in their window to keep away the spiders or whatever. There are different crazy remedy things that work. I just read one the other day. I forget what it was for, but it was lemon. Something that might have maybe been spiders. I'm not sure, but yeah, they put lemon drops in their screens, in their windows, and I think they said it keeps I don't know if it was the spiders or the bees or something. And that's another thing we got going on here that I'm very perplexed. Now, as these pots got a little smaller, I went with a little less coffee. Between my husband and myself, we've killed, I think, 4 flies. Now, if you know me, you know how much I hate flies. Hate flies. And because they are so dirty. And they start out as maggots, and that is the most disgusting thing to me. I can't deal with that. So when he told me last week that he killed a fly, I said, my first thought was, well, the first thing I said was, wait, what do you mean you killed a fly? When did you kill a fly? He said, just now in the laundry room. I said, well, that's not good. Well, it's just a fly. It probably got in, followed me in the door. Well, okay, but it's winter. So flies should be dormant. There should not be any flies flying around on the porch to follow you in the door. So we just kind of let that go by the wayside, and I'll water these when I get them back in their rightful spot. Anyway, so a few days went by, and I was working on that table behind my sofa that he made for me. And I had just cleaned it off 2 weeks ago. I washed it off with a damp rag and rearranged the plants a little bit. And well, it wasn't even 2 weeks later, and I saw a dead fly laying on that table. And he said, well, it probably went dormant. It's probably not dead. I said, well, we have a problem. If we have live flies in our house, they're somewhere. And we need to find out where they are. And he just fluffed it off like guys will, you know, most guys. Maybe not all. Sorry, guys. Don't mean to single you out, but most men are like, oh, whatever. So, all right, so then the third day, he came in and he said, I just killed another fly. Well, now I'm getting extremely concerned. And I said, we have got to find out where that is coming from, because where there's flies, there's maggots. And if that is under our house, we have a crawl space. We don't have a basement. So my guess is possibly that an animal got under there, got caught in there, and couldn't get out. And maybe the flies were living on that. It's possible. I hope I'm wrong, because, I mean, I don't know how long that stuff lives, but it really is creeping me out. And they're little flies. They're not big mom and dad flies. They're like, you know, little kid, like 8, 9-year-olds to teenage year size flies. So I know that they're hatching, and they're here somewhere. They're not following him in the house. I mean, we've gotten down to almost 0 one night in the last week. So no, they're not living outside. The only other thing I can think of is possibly in the bottom of the garbage cans that go up to the road. Maybe, but I wouldn't think that they would live in this cold. I don't know. I don't know, and I wish I could go out and look myself, but I can't. I can't get to them. So I got to count on him to do it. So I don't know. We'll see. I will keep you posted on that dilemma too. It's quite disgusting, actually, and I don't know, maybe you guys don't want to hear about it, but you're my friends, so I thought I'd share it with you because it's on my mind. But okay, so that's the end of this. I think I've yacked enough. Lastly, I hesitate to talk about my family and my personal life on my plant channel because I want my plant channel to be about plants. And the only reason I share my issues with you is because when I'm editing my videos, I can hear myself grunting, and I get brain fog so bad that I get a 30-second delay, and I just want you all to know that there's a reason why this stuff is happening, and keep me in your prayers. But in addition to that, I have to ask for a special prayer today. About 3 months ago, my daughter, my only child actually, was diagnosed with cancer, and it's the worst kind. And she's been undergoing chemotherapy, and now tomorrow she is undergoing surgery, and she's still got a long road ahead of her. So I would appreciate it if those of you who believe in God and who do pray will please include her in your prayers for a successful surgery and a good outcome. And that is going to take place tomorrow about noon. And tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So in case you're not watching this until tomorrow, then you're going to think it's New Year's Day. But it's going to be on New Year's Eve. at about noon. So please keep her in your prayers. All right. That's it, and I guess that's enough, right? That's a lot for one video. I like to bring you guys happy news and happy stuff, but sometimes I guess we gotta you know, deal with what life gives us and realize that life does go on, and we just have to find ways to get through things. Okay, well, wish me luck on my Folgers adventure. Let's see what happens. I'm hopeful, partly because when I found out about the Epsom salt deal, and I used that on my my peace lily, my leaves on that plant are deep dark green. They weren't that green when I brought it home. So that really does work. So there are some, you know, kind of quirky whatever things that people have found over the years to be useful in the horticulture world, and so I'm not gonna, you know, say that coffee grounds are, you know. I didn't react when I read that. It was like, oh, maybe they'll work. Let's find out. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna end this video today, and oh, and I also have one last thing to tell you. I ordered a ring light because a friend of mine ordered one, and she suggested that I get one because she said my videos were kind of on the darker side, and I know some of you like that look, but I would like them to be a little bit brighter, and I thought, well, maybe I should get one too. So she sent me the link to the one she bought, and she set hers up, and it was very, very bright. Well, I didn't get that link. I couldn't find it on Amazon, so I ordered one similar to it, and my husband set it up yesterday, and I went to turn it on today, and it wasn't. I get more brighter light out of one LED 100-watt equivalent than I did out of that ring light. So be careful what you buy, and so I already wrapped it up and ordered it to be picked up and sent back, and I did order the one. I did finally find the one that my friend got, and I am going to receive that on the 5th of January. So when I get that new light, I will be hopefully I'll be using it, and you'll be able to see the difference, and things will be brighter here. So stay tuned for that. All right, now that really is the end. Okay, so I will be back to you maybe tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be well enough to do a video tomorrow, and if not, maybe on New Year's Day for my birthday. I'll do a video for my birthday. How's that sound? Okay. Well, you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve if I don't talk to you before then. And until then, take care. Bye now.